favorite engineer. Also, happy Veteran Day to all the veterans or whatever. So, salute you for all that you do for serving. Definitely respect, definitely appreciation. So let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. So, why I enjoy serving the music producer community? I enjoy serving the music producer community for like many reasons, for various reasons. Like it go back a long time ago until like now. So it's been started, and I had been planting my seed to do these things, but I always just said once I learn, I will give back. So this is my way. This is why I enjoy serving the music producer community because it's like I love to give back. Once I learn, I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to share the knowledge with others because I want you guys to produce something great. I want you guys to make something great or whatever. And I think about my journey when I started off as a music producer. Mind you, starting off as a music producer, I was a home bedroom producer, studio producer. That was my first thing, like the first challenge, and it was like when a bedroom studio producer really wasn't as popular. Like it wasn't glorified to be like a cool thing, but it was like something that was popular. It was something that was like becoming normal. It wasn't as normal then. It was like something new, something interesting. So it's like then we started to get a light on that. So it's like that's challenge one. Challenge two is like being a home bedroom studio producer, then not being able to produce quality mixes. This was my second challenge. So I was a bedroom producer, not being able to produce quality mixes. And then when I was able to learn or land how to produce a quality mix, like took me so long, like years, sleepless nights, hours on mixes, days on the mixes. And like I said, hey, anybody that's this passionate about music, anyone that loves music this much shouldn't have to go through all this just to learn how to produce a great mix. And although it was information out there, it was some information, good information, I think, pretty quality information. The one thing that I learned, like all this information they was teaching, all this information they was providing, it was accurate, but it didn't fit me. And the reason it didn't fit me, and like now why I'm so adamant about serving the music producer community, because it's like gotta definitely be intentional. Like we got to know what's good. We definitely got to know where you at on your journey. So it's like when I was starting my music producer journey, it's like I technically didn't know where I was on my journey. I just knew where I was trying to get to. I never stopped and analyzed like, hey, you're trying to do this on your journey, but where are you actually located? And at the time, we didn't have people talking like that. Like it wasn't actual people just talking like where you was at on your current journey of your music production. It's more so as people just telling you what to do. Hey, you want to get better mixing? Do this. Hey, you want to do this? Do this. So it was like such broad information, but it was never specific to like your niche or like your area. How you doing? So it was like it wasn't never specific. So it was always a struggle. So I said, hey, as a music producer, once I learn this, I'ma share, I'ma serve, I'ma build a music producer community because it's what it needed. The producer community is so dope because like they're collaborative, like they're creators. They love to share, they love to ask questions and give answers. Now, like that's the cool thing about the music producer community. So at the time, it was different for me. Like all of this stuff was new, and of course, people was doing it, and they was possibly giving information, but it was like such insider secrets type things. So so it was such insider secrets type stuff. So what's good, y'all? What's good? Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for joining in. Just talking about Talk to Tron, your favorite producer, your favorite engineer. We're talking about why I enjoy serving the music producer community. So like everything was such secretive. It was hard to learn. It was hard to do. Like the information was like if you read about it or you watch videos, you felt like it was something missing. So my thing as a music producer, I said, hey, once I learn it, I vow to share. I want to give it away. I want to teach you, like, but you got to come in these rooms. You got to be willing to ask questions. You got to link up. You got to join. Like, you got to collaborate. Like, I'm open. I'm an open book. I'm ready to give all, but you gotta be ready to receive. So like that's where we at. So it's like being a home bedroom producer, not being able to produce quality mixes consistently, and then spending in like too long just to learn how to do these things until it's like years later, hours later, sleepless nights, um, a lot of times of wanting to quit, a lot of times like giving up, a lot of times it was like just being burnt out. Like finally broke through, finally figured it out. Like it all started to make sense, and at this point, it's like I'm documenting everything. Like if I was technically writing it down, like I'm remember these processes, I'm remember these strategies. Like this is what was missing. Like all this information that I had been learned that I was seeking, it ended up being valid later, but it wasn't where I was needed on my journey. So it's like now when I look at music producers, and it's like the reason I want to serve, the reason I want to help, because after traveling this journey so long, it's like okay, cool. If this person is struggling right here, this is where he at. This is the next thing they're gonna come about. Because the thing that I also thought about with music production, audio production, when we talking about beat maker, engineer, and all that, like I tied all these things all in at once. So it's like I was working hard just to figure all these things out. So like I'm dabbing in audio engineering, recording, mixing, mastering, even on the production side. So I'm doing all these things just trying to get better. The reason why I'm stuck on music producers now is like I know I can do both. So I'm just combining this now. It's just like working the making the best music possible. So it's like I got the ears that I can produce it, I can mix it. We can do all these things. So it's like that's where I come in on music producer, like trying to show you guys like how to hear it from all aspects, like how to challenge yourself. If you can't do it here, the whole reason why you want to learn mixing, you learn sound designing when you're producing, like just making a beat. So my whole goal is like to serve the music producer community in any aspect that they need, like any questions, any problems they have, let's provide the solution. Because it's like it's so like if you struggling right here, hey, I don't know how to EQ my 808s. I don't know how to mix my 808s. If you don't know how to do that, you're not gonna have a good mix. Your mix is not gonna be balanced. Something gonna be off. So now it's like that's a whole nother struggle. Like so instead of just put an EQ right here, put a compressor on here, add a limiter, get your mix super loud. Like instead of just doing those things, those are unlearned. Those are behaviors that you want to unlearn. Like those are not healthy behaviors in order to be a great music producer. So it's like, hey, why keep being the one that's just gonna give invalid information or unrelevant information? I ain't gonna say that because their information is definitely valid, but it's like you gotta give people information on their journey. So it's like we looking like most likely if you in this beginner stages, you need to go learn the terminology. You need to go learn the dial that you working in. Like you just need to learn specific information, like those little things. If you kind of like a newbie a little bit more than a beginner, it's like cool. Now you need to start playing with a VST or plug in or a sound effect. Like you need to start just playing with a few sounds and knowing what they do and knowing what they are. A kick, like knowing kind of how it's supposed to sound, like all of these type things. And then you can get more later on. You can get into like what is a novice or something. Like now you kind of got a little bit better understanding. You kind of know how to apply these things because next, like you want to get to the applying stage. Like can't just be throwing you all this information out and expecting you to learn. Like most people don't understand. Like you can give someone all the information in the world, they ain't gonna know where to start with. So it's like let's build as a producer. Are you right here? Are you struggling with these? Okay, this is probably where you need to go back and study start it. Okay, you right here, this is probably where you need to go back and start it. Okay, we can get right here. Cool. Now these the things that you need to focus. Cause all these things is nothing but like building blocks. Definitely like building blocks. So most people just want to jump and start using a compressor. Most people want to just get a super loud mix. Most people just want to skip the recording stage and jump into mixing, or skip the recording stage and just say they know how to master a song. it's so many technical things that you really just need to be focusing on and don't be trying to like skip ahead. So it's like I definitely like along the journey I found shortcuts, I found strategies, I found techniques, I found principles that was gonna be valid and consistent throughout. Like these things was tested. Like okay, cool, guaranteed let's work. These things are guaranteed to work. I used to struggle with getting a loud mix. I used to struggle with getting a balanced mix, a clear mix, mix too muddy. Like a lot of things until like, okay, let's go find these principles that definitely work on every mix. One principle, the first principle is like, are we gain staging? Are we gain staging, which means we getting a clean mix in general because we just making these sounds come in clean where they're not too hot, where they're not coming in red. Think red. We don't want to come in red. We really don't want to come in yellow because red gonna be too hot, yellow gonna be too low, which you invite noise floor if you record them. Kind of want to come in at green as a healthy sound, but you want to come in at a healthy green, not just green. All right, next you want to pan these elements that we talking about mixing. Like you want to carefully place these sounds so everything can have room to live and be heard in its own place. Like you don't want to have it all jumbled together. Like you want to have different things. All right, next we want to go back and ensure that we got it balanced now. Like just because you level everything and you got to come in and help it, now you got to balance these sounds. What sounds do you want to be heard more present? Like the 808s, the kicks, the vocals, the snares. Like so now you're basically checking on to these. Those are basic things that you need to be doing after you had created a template. Template should be first because now you understanding your template, you understanding your workflow, you understand how to where things are gonna be going to every time. They're speeding up your workflow. So now you understanding you got a system. Producing, mixing is definitely following like a system. Like if you start off with a system, you're gonna be able to do this every time. But if you starting from a blank canvas every time, yeah, you may be able to do it, but it's gonna be a little bit harder. It's gonna be like a little struggle. So let's build those systems. Let's work on these types of things. Template, game staging, panning, leveling. We want to do all that way before we even consider mixing. Like those are just like the basics, and you can do these things. You can get 80% of a mix. You can get good. Now we can go into talking about EQ, compressors, limiters, reverbs, delay. And we don't even got to just add out these plugins. Like you can mix good with like 5 plugins if you know what you're doing. So it's like just basically not just like teaching the music producer community how to unlearn a lot of these behaviors or put those old informations like on pause. Like don't get rid of it. Just put it on pause, put it on hold, come back to it later because you got to start from scratch. So it's like that's why I that's why I had to produce and create this mixing the minutes book. It's like this is just the guide that I follow. Like I know it right here, but that's why it's like when I'm walking someone through it, I want you to just take a look at the book. Let's look at it. We're just gonna walk right here. And now this is like your pacing guide. You can know like where you at until you master this. Probably don't want to go ahead because there's something good with mixing. Like you want to learn mastery, like you be able to do it over and over without even thinking about it. Like it's clear and concise. Like once you get to that point, like that's how you can go to the next thing. I used to struggle with EQ until I had to learn to master it. I used to struggle with using compressors until I had to learn to master it. Like I used to struggle with limiters, getting louder mixes until I mastered it. Reverb was like the worst. I couldn't figure out reverb. I used to add too much. It used to be washy and whatever. Like even after before I got the vocals to sound good, then I add the reverb because I liked it the flavor, but I could never blend it right. Delay until you master it. Saturation until you master it. Your dog until you master it. Like so, it's like, and then even when you master it, you don't quit right there. You learn something else. So like you can't expect to learn all these things at one time. Learn it, master it. and then go to something else. Like go look on your checklist, but it's like cool. The good thing about it, I got the checklist for you. Like these are the things we gonna hit. We ain't gonna just throw you out there in the water and expect for you to swim. So like let's talk about it once again. That's my main reason why I wanted to serve the music producer community. That was my main reason why I want to do something different. So hey, hopefully you guys find this helpful. Hopefully you guys share this. If you need more content like this, let me know. Talk to Antron, your favorite producer, your favorite engineer. Let's get it. Keep serving.